Now let us solve the problem. So the statement of the problem is M1, M2, M3 and M4 are 4 bar linkages as shown in the below figure. The numbers on the figure indicate the respective link lengths in centimeter. Identify the nature of the mechanism, that is whether double crank, crank rocker, double rocker, then give the reason in brief. So this is the figure. These are the figures given. So M1 represent the first mechanism, M2 represent second mechanism, M3 represent the third mechanism, and M4 represent the fourth mechanism. So all these four mechanisms are 4 bar linkages having 4 turning pairs. So if you see the first mechanism, so the shortest link is fixed, right? So if we fix the shortest link in a 4 bar chain, what happens? I will get the double crank mechanism. So similarly, in the second mechanism, the link which is opposite to the longest link, see, this 11 is the longest link, the opposite to the longest link we are fixing, therefore I will get the crank rocker mechanism. So one of the links having rotational motion. Similarly, in case of M3, the link which is adjacent to the shortest link is fixed. Therefore, I will get the double rocker mechanism. None of the link make rotational motion. So last one M4, link number 10 is fixed. So what happens if we fix the link number 10? I will get the crank rocker mechanism. So let us solve the problem. So if you consider the first mechanism M1, so length of the largest link is 10 centimeter. So length of the largest link is 10 centimeter. See, this is the shortest link. Sorry, shortest link is a 5. So the length of the shortest link is 5 centimeter. So length of the other links are 8 and 9. And we know from the Grashoff's inversion, so length of the shortest link plus length of the shortest link and length of the largest link should be less than or equals to the remaining two lengths. Okay. So if this statement is satisfied, then only, so any one of the link is having rotational motion, then we can use it for practical application. Okay. So let us consider this statement: sum of the length of the shortest link plus length of the longest link should be less than or equals to sum of the other two links. So longest link is 10, shortest link is 5. So 10 plus 5 is 15. So which is less than the length of a remaining two, sum of the lengths of remaining two lengths, that is 8 plus 9, 17. Okay. So therefore the shortest link is fixed. The obtained mechanism is a double crank mechanism. Means, so with respect to the endpoints of the shortest link, so this link will make a rotational motion like this, and link number or link which is having 9 centimeter length also make rotational motion with respect to this point. Okay. So this is for mechanism 1 or first mechanism. Let us consider the second mechanism. So in the second mechanism, first we have to identify which is the longest link. So in this mechanism, longest link is 11 and the shortest one is 6. So this is longest, this is shortest. Okay. So length of the other links are 10 and 9. So let us consider the Grashoff's this one equation again, that is length of the shortest link plus length of the longest link should be less than or equals to remaining to sum of the remaining two link lengths. So longest link is 11 and the shortest link is 6. So 11 plus 6 is 17, and sum of the other two link lengths, that is 10 plus 9 19. Therefore, so LHS is smaller than RHS, and also the link which is opposite to the longest link is fixed. So as we have discussed in the inversion, concept of inversion, so if the link which is opposite to the longest link is fixed, then we are going to obtain the crank rocker mechanism. So this shortest link act as a crank which rotates about the center like this, whereas this link acts as a rocker in this direction. It acts as a rocker. So next one for the mechanism M3. So for the given mechanism, first we have to identify which is the longest link and which is the shortest link. So for this given mechanism, 15 is the longest link and 8 is the shortest link, and other two links are 10 and 12 centimeter each. So now let us consider the Grashoff's law, that is sum of the shortest and longest link length must be less than or equals to sum of the other two link lengths. So longest link is 15 plus 8. 15 plus 8 is 23. So which is greater than the sum of the other two link lengths, that is 12 plus 10, 22. Okay, since LHS is greater than RHS, so it is not satisfying the Grashoff's law. Okay, so it should be less than or equals to RHS. LHS should be less than or equals to RHS. So if it does not satisfy this condition, then we call such type of chain as a non-Grashoff's chain. Means uh, none of the links make complete revolution. Please remember, none of the link makes complete revolution. So therefore, so we can consider this one as a double rocker mechanism. Okay, so we can consider this mechanism as a double rocker mechanism because none of the links make the complete revolution since LHS is greater than RHS. So now coming to the last mechanism, M4. So here also the longest link is 10 and shortest is 5. So the link which is opposite to the shortest link is fixed. So the link which is opposite to the shortest link is fixed. And also if we consider the Grashoff's condition, that is sum of the shortest and the longest link length should be less than or equals to the sum of the other two link length. So 10 plus 5. So here we have 15 and here we have 17. Therefore, so it is satisfying the condition. So one of the link is having rotational motion. Therefore, we call this one as a crank rocker mechanism or inversion of the or the vice versa of the first inversion. So the next problem, in a 4-bar mechanism, the lengths of driver crank, coupler and follower links are 150 mm, 250 mm and 300 mm respectively. The fixed link length is L0. Find the range of values for L0 to make it a crank rocker mechanism. So in this problem, if you see the given statement, so clearly it is mentioned length of the driver crank. So in order to obtain crank rocker mechanism, the shortest link should have rotational motion. Therefore, 150 is the shortest link. Okay, so 150 is the shortest link. I will consider it as a L1 is equals to 150, and I will consider this coupler as L2, which is 250, and L3, the follower link, as 300 mm. So, and we know from the Grashoff's law, the condition for 4-bar mechanism to become a crank rocker mechanism is the sum of the length of shortest link and longest link should be less than or equals to sum of the other two link lengths. Okay, suppose if this L naught is the longest link, let us consider L naught as a longest length, because so we cannot consider it as a shortest link. Shortest link value is given in the problem itself, driver crank. Okay, so in place of a driver crank or shortest link, I will substitute 150, and let us find the length of the longest link L naught less than or equals to sum of the other two links, that is 250 and 300. So 250 plus 300. So after simplifying this, we got L naught is less than or equals to 400 mm. So that is the length of the longest link. Length of the longest link is 400 mm. Now, if L naught is not the longest link, then what is the minimum range of the link length? So that can be determined by considering the same equation again, the Grashoff's condition. That is sum of the shortest and longest link. See, in this given statement, so which is the longest one? 300 is the longest one. So I will consider this as a shortest and this as a longest. 150 as a shortest and 300 as longest. So 150 plus 300 less than or equals to, so let us find this L naught value. So L naught plus 250. So therefore after simplifying this, we got L naught greater than or equals to 200 mm. So we got the range. So therefore to make it, or to make this mechanism rocker 1, the range of L naught is between 200 to 400. Therefore we can write like this: 200 less than or equals to L naught less than or equals to 400, means it lies, the length of this L naught lies between 200 to 400. Then only we can able to produce crank rocker mechanism from the given mechanism. So next one, suppose in the same problem, so if they ask to find the value of L naught, so if it is a crank mechanism or double crank mechanism, then what is the condition? How to solve the problem? So we know that the condition for a 4-bar mechanism to become crank mechanism is that the shortest link must be fixed, right? The shortest link must be fixed, then only we'll get the crank mechanism or double crank mechanism. So here in the equation, Grashoff's condition, that is the sum of the shortest and the longest link length must be less than or equals to sum of the other two link lengths. Since the fixed link is the shortest link, so in place of a shortest link, we need to substitute L naught, because we have to find the length of the shortest link. Then in the given problem, longest link is 300. So rest of the other two link lengths are 150 and 250 mm. Therefore from this equation, if we solve L naught, so we got L naught is less than or equals to 100 mm. So therefore in order to make a double crank mechanism, the L naught value should be less than or equals to 100 mm. So this is not there in the problem. Suppose if they ask to find the value of L naught in order to make the mechanism a double crank mechanism. So next problem is a crank and slotted lever mechanism used in a shaper has a center distance of 300 mm between the center of oscillation of the lever and the center of rotation of the crank. if the radius of crank is 120 mm, find the ratio of time of cutting to the time of return stroke. That is time ratio we need to find. So here which length is given. So first of all we need to uh, understand what is the crank and the slotted lever mechanism. So in the last class or last lecture I have explained in under quick return motion mechanism. So we have three type. So Whitworth quick return motion mechanism, drag link mechanism, crank and the slotted lever mechanism. So why it is called crank and slotted lever mechanism? So we have a crank over here, link number 2, which is rotating in a clockwise direction, and CD is the slotted lever. CD acts as a slotted lever. So whenever this slider, link number 4, slides inside the slot, this slides inside the slot, this CD will oscillate like this with respect to point C. CD will oscillate. So therefore, we are going to get the cutting and the return stroke along this path. Along this path, we are going to get the cutting and the return stroke. So here, which length is given? The center distance as a center distance of 300 mm between center of oscillation. See, this is the center of oscillation, point C of the lever and center of rotation. See, this is center of rotation. So this link length BC is given. Link length BC is given, that is 300 mm. Okay. So the crank radius is 120. So link number 2 is the crank. This is the crank. AB. AB value is given. Okay. So I will consider the second diagram where in which it represent the first position and the second position. So in the first position, the mechanism is in the CA1 D1 and RAM is in E1 position. So in the second position, when it completed the cutting stroke, so it is in C A2 D2 and RAM is in E2 position. Okay, so it is moving in clockwise direction. So alpha represent the cutting stroke whereas beta represent the return stroke. Okay, so therefore here 120 is nothing but this A1B, A1B or AB, and this is the time ratio. So time taken for forward stroke or cutting stroke divided by time for return stroke. So A1, this is A1, B, A2 in clockwise direction means this angle alpha. Okay, next time for return stroke. So A2, B, A1 in a clockwise. So which is nothing but beta. So therefore this beta can be written as 360 minus alpha. Now let us see how to solve this problem. So the distance between the center of oscillation, that is this BC line BC length is given 300 mm. It is in millimeter, therefore it becomes 0.3 meter. Then crank radius, this BA1, BA1 is the crank radius. So 120 millimeter it is given in the problem. Therefore 0.12 meter. In terms of meter it becomes 0.12 meter. Now let us consider the triangle BA1C. BA1C. Let us consider this half portion of the triangle because this is total angle is beta. This is beta since we are considering only half of the uh, mechanism, therefore it becomes B by 2. So A1BC or BA1C beta by 2. So and it is having a right angle triangle. So this is beta by 2, this is 90 degree, therefore this angle become 90 minus beta by 2. since this line is perpendicular. Okay, so this angle become 90 minus beta by 2. Suppose if I apply sine rule to this one, sine trigonometric rule to this triangle, sine 90 minus beta by 2. So opposite side is a1b, a1b is the opposite side. Hypotenuse is bc, hypotenuse is bc. So a1b is 0.12, whereas bc is 0.3. Okay, so after simplification, so we got 0.4, 0.4. So the sine inversion of 0.4, sine inversion of 0.4 is 23.578 degree. Since I want a beta, since I want beta, so beta can be easily calculated by using this equation. So beta becomes, after simplification, 132.844 degree. Now we are going to find the time ratio, that is time of cutting stroke to the time of return stroke. So that is alpha by beta. Since here we don't have alpha value, so alpha can be written as 360 minus beta. Okay, so alpha can be written as 360 minus beta. Since we have beta value, therefore we are converting everything in terms of beta. So alpha can be written as 360 minus beta, and in the denominator we have beta. So 360 minus 132.844 divided by 132.844. So after simplification we got 1.71. So this is the time ratio, or time of cutting stroke to the time of return stroke. So the next problem, in a crank and slotted lever quick return motion mechanism, the distance between the fixed centers is 250 mm and length of the driving crank is 120 mm. Find the inclination of the slotted bar with the vertical in the extreme position and the time ratio of cutting to return stroke if the length of the slotted bar is 450 mm. Find the length of the stroke if the line of stroke passes through the extreme position of the free end of the lever. So this is the given condition of the problem. In this problem, you can see the distance between the fixed centers, means this is the fixed centers, right? B and C are the fixed center, though this BC is given 250 mm. Next, crank radius is given, that is the length of the driving crank. So this A1B is given 120 millimeter. Then length of the slotted bar. So this CD1, CD1 length, this CD1 length is given 450 mm. So we need to find the inclination, that is this angle we need to find, that is 90 minus beta by 2. We need to find 90 minus beta by 2. Then stroke length we need to find, that is E1 to E2. This length we need to find, E1 E2. So next we have to find the inclination of the slotted bar with the vertical link. So this is the vertical link, CB is the, this BC is the vertical link. With respect to this vertical link, we have to find this angle, that is 90 minus beta by 2. So I'm going to use the same concept which we followed for the previous problem. So that is, I'm going to consider only this half portion of the, or one portion of the extreme position. So this becomes beta by 2, beta by 2. So this becomes 90 minus 90 minus beta by 2. So we have to find this angle, right? We have to find this angle because this is the inclination of the slotted bar. So to find this one, let us consider sine, trigonometric sine rule. So that is sine 90 minus beta by 2 becomes opposite side. Opposite side is a1b, this a1b, hypotenuse, this bc, a1b by bc. So a1b is 0.12 meter, bc is 0.24 meter. So after simplification we got 0.5. So I will consider sine inversion of 0.5. So I got uh, this inclination angle, that is 90 minus beta by 2 is equals to 30 degree. The first question is over. So next one, calculate time ratio of cutting to return stroke. So we know that time ratio, that is time of a cutting stroke to the time of return stroke, that is alpha by beta. So alpha can be written as 360 minus beta, and in the denominator we have beta. So but from the previous case, so we got 90 minus beta by 2 as a 30 degree. So using this one, we can calculate beta value easily. So after simplifying, we got beta is equals to 120 degree. So I'm going to substitute in this equation in order to find the time ratio. So therefore time ratio become 360 minus beta, 360 minus 120 divided by 120. So therefore time ratio becomes 2. Time ratio becomes 2. The last one, calculate the length of a stroke. So in order to find the length of the stroke, I will connect D1 to D2. So I will connect this D1 to D2 by a continuous line like this. Okay. Then I will extend this B, the point B, like this. I will extend. So wherever these two lines intersect, I will call this one as F. Okay. So it forms a triangle, that is CD1F. CD1F. I will consider this triangle CD1F. So CD1F and CD1F and CA1B becomes similar triangle. Therefore, its angle become common. For both the triangle, this angle is common, that is 90 minus beta by 2. 90 minus beta by 2. So therefore, I will apply trigonometric rule sine to the triangle CD1. So what happens? Opposite side is D1F. Opposite side is D1F. Therefore, D1F. Hypotenuse is CF. Just a minute. CD1, because this is perpendicular. This one is perpendicular. Therefore, CD1 is the hypotenuse. CD1 is the hypotenuse. So in this equation, we need to find length of DF, D1F, length of D1F, because this D1 D2, the length of D1 D2 is the same as E1 E2. Please understand, length of D1 D2 is the same as length of E1 E2, because these are the corresponding points which are connected to the RAM. Okay, so during the motion from E1 to E2, D1 will move from D1 to D2. Therefore, if we find D1 D2, which is same as E1 E2. Okay, so length of a stroke is D1 D2, which is equals to E1 E2. So how to find D1 D2 length? So D1 D2 can be determined as by using this one, because its length is 2 times of D1F. Its length is 2 times of D1F, because D1F is half of D1 D2. D1F is half of D1 D2. So therefore D1 D2 d1 into d2 is equals to 2 times of d1 f. So 2 into 0.225. So after simplification we got 0.45. See, this is the length of a stroke for a given problem. Okay. So in order to understand uh, how exactly the stroke will happens, so this diagram is important. So otherwise no need to draw the diagram in the exam.